Hi, very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you who are signing in from different part of world. I'm architect Rajendra Kumar, architect and urbanist from New Delhi, India. Today I'm going to talk about COVID and Indian cities. I'm going to discuss some of the issues which Indian cities have seen in last 1 year. Okay, to introduce myself, I'm an architect and urbanist based in New Delhi. I'm director of School of Architecture, Noida International University. Okay, guys, what I'm going to talk about COVID, Corona, and as you all know that this word of pandemic has really haunting us from last many months. I mean, more specifically after December 2019 and more prominently after March 2020. So what we can do that uh, we can definitely stop corona. I believe that we have that willpower and strength with us that we can stop corona. In my next few slides you are going to discuss that how India has fought in last few months and what are the challenges are having in front of us in coming months to come. When lockdown started, the whole world was started saying that why to stop the world because of such pandemic. And I believe that these days, I mean, after experiencing number of months about the pandemic and that problem because of pandemic, this lockdown has become the reality of our cities. So one uh, corona pandemic has really stopped the world for some time. Well, India also, it was new to start talking about lockdown. We came up with the COVID cases in somewhere in between uh, first week of March or second week of March in 2020. Right now, I believe that we have overcome the situation of lockdown, though we are opening up, but still there are a few things which we need to adopt in our daily life, like a wear a mask, practice a good personal hygiene, a distancing norm. Though it looks like a little bit difficult, but that is the only way what we have to go with to stop the corona. When I'm saying that the lockdown was a relatively new word for all citizen in global world, uh, similarly India also. In India, after March 2020, there are a series of lockdown have happened. As you can all say that before India, the Italy and other part of the European cities, they were observing the lockdowns. But the lockdown in a city, in a country of India, with the people more than 1.3 billion, and that was a big shock when such lockdown term came in India. We observed the lockdown phase 1 2020, March 2020 to April 2020. That was phase 1. A phase 2, April 2020, then 3 May 2020. So these 4 phases of lockdown have happened in last 1 year. And then you can see from this phase to this phase, that was the phase where whole India, when I'm saying whole India, it is 1.3 billion people. Those were the lockdown. The world stopped. 1/6 of world population were locked in their house. Believe me, this is a very shocking. And we have come across those situations. Okay, so what happened? The first reaction, what happened as a lockdown? When government announced the lockdown, it says that stay at home. Good, well, good. But what happened to these? The cities of Mumbai, Delhi, these are the cities of 20 million people. I repeat, 20 million people. And in out of 20 million people, around 50% of the population, they were earning in the day and so that they can eat in the night. So those I'm talking about, those are labor class. When the city went for lockdown, when the whole country went for lockdown, there was a big hue and cry about these labor class. So then rapid anti-migration started happening. People were moving back to their hometowns. So that is the scenario. Just 2 or 3 days after the lockdown announcement, all these working class people across all the cities in our megapolis, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Calcutta, Madras, all those places, all these labor were thinking of moving back to their hometowns. These are the scenarios. Believe me, guys, the people walked for 3 days and 4 days with their kid in their hand. They could not find the way, so they walked on train. They walked on a train track. Many casualties happened. These were the scenario after announcement of lockdown within 1 week. These were the scenario. People walked for 100,000 kilometers, holding their luggages, their home on their head, and their kids in their hand. So those were the scenarios that our Indian global cities have seen. These were the situations across the people were moving, day and night moving. Okay, so this is a very interesting story. It came in attention of media. A girl of Bihar, she cycled for 1,200 kilometers carrying her father. I repeat, 1,200 kilometers bicycle. A young girl, a teenage girl of 15 and 16-year-old, she carried 1,200 kilometers by bicycle to drop her father from megapolis, so-called megapolis, which provide opportunity for all. So this girl became all of a sudden the media attention. I mean, that shows that our megapolis did not afford our urban poor to live without any work for these COVID for this lockdown time. And that's a worry. I mean, I'm going to discuss about a certain positive thing also. This is one of the very interesting story about a big celebrity in India. As a good friend, we have been, he has been doing a lot of good cause. He took an initiative when he saw such kind of a scenarios. He took an initiative. He made a responsibility of sending all the people, all the labor class people who wanted to go back to their hometown or their villages, he sent by in a respectful manner, not like a walking day and night, 1,000 and 1,000 kilometers on foot. No, he said, and that's a very interesting story. Then after that, what happened that unlock started happening. When unlock started happening, so unlock 1 in June, unlock 2 in July, unlock 3 in August, unlock 4 in September, and so on and so forth. So December 2020 and January 2020, when the whole world was thinking that, okay, the unlock is happening good, or the unlock was about to open, the Delhi was about to open. So this is a very interesting picture. It's basically the depicting the world is getting open. That's I'm talking about January 2021. And then all of a sudden the second wave came. Second wave hit India in March 2021, and it becomes more dangerous in April 2021. So, but what was the difference between the first wave and second wave, and in terms of the governance model? In the first wave, the COVID pandemic, the lockdown was controlled by center. When I'm saying center is controlled by the capital city, it's basically, it was a central policies. But in second lockdown, what happened that the state, the provinces, they have had a responsibility of lockdown or not lockdown or partial lockdown or full lockdown or partial unlock and partial locks. So here you can see that this state, which is a Maharashtra, it had the maximum number of cases. So they went for they went the first lockdown in the second wave, and then subsequently the other state had also went. So all of a sudden here you can see the situation. What I was telling you that in March 2020 the COVID case happened, and in September 2020 it went up, and then again by the December and January again it was flattening. All of a sudden in April it shot up. So then what happened? Then the process of unlocking also started happening. We cannot go non-stop lockdown. Here you can see the scenario, how this is coming, going up, going down. Okay, so my analysis here today is that what were the reason why the second wave has come in India? Second wave hit the maximum. A city, Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata. Here you can see the graph of Delhi from here till here. The April and May was the time of, April and May of this year was the time when daily cases in Delhi was crossing 20,000 to 25,000 per day. I repeat, a city of 20 million is having 20 to 24,000 cases per day in Delhi. The same scenario in other states. But what was good in this time? There was some positive thing also in this time about India was ready for vaccination. That was a good. I mean, that brought the psychological relief to the citizen of India, but still there were limitations. There were limitations that we had only two vaccines, one Covaxin and one Covishield. Covaxin was Indian-made, Covishield was Oxford vaccines locally produced in India. So these two vaccines, we started fighting the war against COVID, second wave of COVID wave. The whole vaccination started happening. The same celebrity, you can say, the celebrity which I was talking about in the first wave, he helped all the migrant to go back to their cities. And this is a very interesting slide of this. This is in Hindi, which I'm just translating it for understanding of all the people. Here it says that after seeing the vaccine team, there are a number of people who jumped in the river just because they don't wanted to have vaccine, because there was a fear of vaccine. So when the vaccine was available, but at the same time, the awareness was not available. So we as a governance, we as a citizens, we need to also bring the awareness among the citizens for vaccinations. Okay, so the death inside second wave was drastic more compared to the first wave. Again, what was the cause? The cause of second COVID wave was January. The whole India started thinking that Corona has gone, but no, Corona did not go. Only the lockdown became unlocked. Number of political rallies, number of religious functions. When I'm saying religious function, there is a function called Kumbh Mela. That Kumbh Mela saw the 100,000 to 500,000 people in one day at one place, dipping in the river. I am repeating, 100,000 people dipping in the river per day. That was the function. So such kind of a thing really brought the whole India on their toe. Okay, in the second wave, I'm just discussing some of the case studies in situations in Delhi. Second wave was drastically very dangerous. When in the first wave, when we talk about one key word, that's a migrant returning back to their places on foot, 100 to 1,000 kilometers on foot, 3 days, 4 days. If that was a very fearing keyword, but in second wave, the fearing keyword, the oxygen. When I'm talking about oxygen, the oxygen shortage in a major cities happened very high. In a city like a Delhi, the shortage of oxygen was killing number of people. Here you can see the oxygen is like a baby. Here you can see on one bed, multiple patients were sleeping, multiple patients were treated because there was no bed in the hospital. So these were really very uh, shocking incidents. The whole world came for helping India. And I repeat, the global community who helped. From Italy, the oxygen was flown to India. From Germany, the oxygens were flown to India. And it became a big relief for India of having the oxygen. Again, I'm saying you here, this oxygen is like a baby for this man. So India was held by the world. And I repeat, thank you so much, the whole world. Okay, so this is the scenario. Guys, these are the queue for the dead bodies for cremations. Queue for the dead body for cremations. There was a long queue in cremation ground for people to burn as their last journey start. As in Hindu religion, it believes that the last unending journey start after the death. And there was a queue even for cremating the dead bodies, long queues. Here you can see the series of places, a cremation ground. The people who were cremated, they were very lucky. Whole media across the world started talking about cremation. The cremation in Delhi became the news because there was no cremation place. The car park were converted into cremation places. And that's a shocking, I believe this is really a shocking for a whole world. They were Delhi running out from the cremation. There were number of volunteers, number of foundation came, and they made a cremation in their park, and that's a shocking. Iconic picture. This is about cremation every day in Delhi. This is something should never come in any human life. This is another, as you all know, that Ganga River is a very holy river in Hindu mythology. There were a number of dead bodies who could not be cremated. They were thrown in Ganga River. And I salute to these COVID warriors. I really salute. I'm sorry, I'm being a little bit emotional. But they took the pain. They took the pain. They burned the bodies. They did not know this body belonged to whom, this body belonged to which religion, this body belonged to what. But they burned the body. And I salute these people. These were the bodies on the bank of Ganga River. Guys, no, this should not happen in any of the city of any of the world. Sorry, we did something wrong. And okay, so our future generation, I have a son of 8-year-old. I was stopping him to watch television. He always asked me when the school is going to open. Our young generation, believe me, who just born in like 4 or 5 years, they did not even understand. For them, when the school will reopen, when the city will reopen, when my son will go in park, when I can hug my friend, when I can shake hand with my friend without using the sanitizer. This is their number of intangible loss to the new generation happening, especially about education and schools. We call it online education, is supplementing the COVID pandemic loss. But no, I am a director of university. I teach the student who are adult, who are 20-year plus or 25-year plus. They can understand it. But what happened to these kids? What happened to these kids? Some of them, they may not be even knowing what they may not be even knowing what is internet, or they have a limitation of internet and all those things. So I believe that we need to open up soon. Okay, UN is doing a lot of good, but I think we need to act fast. Okay, so I will repeat, a little bit faster because we have a limitation of time. I think it's a good that all road leads to digital world. This is one of the sessions which I did with the ex-deputy prime minister of Slovenia. He happens to be education minister also of Slovenia. We had discussion that what will happen after COVID pandemic, especially in the education. Yes, all roads lead to digital world, but please, we need to get back to normal. For the sake of these young generations. Economy is also very important term. I believe that economy is not being discussed at this time, but I think it needs to be really taken into consideration. This is a very interesting book by Richard Baldwin, that act fast and do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes. I urge all the policymakers of the world, do whatever it takes, but act fast. There are a number of government schemes required for those orphans whose parent died in COVID. Number of schemes are also happening in India also and across the world also. And I'm very sure that the world has to take into consideration that the kids whose parent died, what happened? What will happen to them? Can India cope of the third world? Okay, so this is another very interesting fear, I would say. There is a debate going on that will third wave come or not? Or if come, what will happen? But the problem is that if the third wave comes, the most affected generation will be the kid, the young generation, the generation who are the future generation for not only in India, but across the world. So the third wave, the fear, how to overcome with the third wave? We should definitely try to have precautions. Still, COVID is still there. It will spread further. Don't repeat the mistake what we did after first wave. This is for a message for India. You still need to avoid crowding indoors or outdoors. COVID appropriate behavior is must. Vaccination is must. Don't let your mask slip from your face. Continue to keep hand clean, place sanitizers. Keep the gap, taking those people home. Work from home is going to be the new trend, and very much it should happen. Back to basics. Please test, track, and treat. These are 3T, which is must. Fresh cases should be traced and isolated. Lockdown in a places where positive rate is crossing. Vaccination is the biggest help what our scientists and doctor could do in COVID pandemics. So everybody should get vaccinated. In India, there is a fear for vaccination. And I'm sure that there are similar kind of a fear in the respective countries, and I'm hearing the word news, but do get vaccinated as soon as possible. Genetic sequencing is a must. India ranked in 102 in the genetic sequences in SARS-2 variant. Genetic sequencing helps to detect new variant of SARS. Early detection of genome or variant serves as a warning. So this is a must thing to do for stopping the third wave. As of now, till yesterday of preparing this lecture, the numbers are good of vaccination, but at the same time, the active cases are also quite high rise. So still it is increasing. I believe that our scientists, our doctor, our leaders are our God. They should do something but act fast. India is ready with a lot of vaccination. As of now, there are only 2 vaccinations, but these are the new vaccinations which are going to come in future. And I believe that we are having a positive hope. There is light at the end of tunnel. but this adult should be smaller. What next? We are architect. What next we can do that? This is a very interesting session by Reba, Rethink Design and Guide Architecture for a Post-Pandemic World. And there are a number of architects who have redesigned and who have thought for a new space utilization in post-pandemic. This is by New York architects. He designed that how the new spaces are going to be after post-COVID pandemic. And it's a good thought. We all architects, I urge all the architects across the world, they should also do their bit for at least doing certain design exercises with your young generation, with your architects, or with your municipal corporation, with your policymakers, to rethink how the spaces is going to be designed post-pandemics. This is a very interesting design. I believe that this is a hospital on the fly. Imagine, so here you have seen in the case of a COVID second wave, how the oxygen tanker were flown from Germany to Italy, Germany to India, or Italy to India. Here there is a newer design of architect, a new thought process, how the hospital can fly from one place to another place. I believe that such kind of a thought provocation in the design fraternity is very important. I believe one thing is very important, and I'm assuring that that's going to last, and it's a good that hybrid working, this will last, and I think it should be there. Hybrid working, when I'm saying hybrid working, working from home, working from beach, working from offices, working from car, or working from offices physically as usual. So that is going to be a new normal. And I think that that will bring a new change. So with this quote, I'm just ending my talk. We all in this together. Let us do our bit in the fight against COVID. I believe if we are not together, we cannot fight COVID. But when I'm saying together, I am not saying please be together and make crowd. Let's be together individually, stay home, stay safe. Thank you so much to all of you. Namaste.